me.
Episode 361.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is
Episode
mainstream now, so
361.
when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
This is Mark Evan Jackson from Everything. You're listening to NetHeads.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mark Evan Jackson, for that wonderful introduction. So glad you could stop by and do that for us. Thank you very much. See yourself safely out the door. Welcome, everyone. Another edition of NetHeads, or the game I like to call Will It Work This Week? I'm your host, Will.
And I'm Trent.
If you want to take part in the program, you can, one of many ways, but until that dead horse finally screams enough, there's one of the ways you can do it. The app is called X. I call it X Twitter because,
Well,
and tell them how they can do that, Trent.
Just use the hashtag NetHeads, but until they change the URL to redirect to something else besides Twitter, because that's still the URL, it's Twitter.
I mean, I believe it works with both. I believe if you share it or anything, it's an X. But yeah, it does work with Twitter. I'll tell you something. I don't mean to like kick off on such a rant here, and I apologize.
Yeah. No sorries, never.
If we are, especially if we are treading on already covered ground, because I know we've made jokes about the way that Twitter has basically been tanked. It's been tanked. It's been it's going in weird directions. There are weird decisions being made, and it goes to show that sometimes it's more important to have like a board of directors instead of just one person owning something, especially when that application used to be something that municipalities and government safeties used to utilize as a major communication method.
I mean, let's talk about the Arab Spring, man. This was enabling democracy, the free sharing of information in real time. It was making revolutions happen.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Now it's Trent. Pardon me for being crass, but now I regularly see in the feed the times I make the mistake. And I go there and I start trying to use it. Yeah. I literally get served ads for an adult pleasuring device.
Oh.
Right back to it all comes back to Dildonics.
Dildonics. Yeah, it's the Dildonic Institute, folks, brought to you in part by Trump University.
Sure, fair enough. I would have gone with steaks, but that's cool too.
Oh yeah. Steaks is better.
I would completely agree, sir. I would completely agree. Yeah, it really has been driven into the ground, and I tell you, the ability for me to use it has become so impractical. Used to be, Trent, if I didn't want to use a third-party app, they had a built-in tool. That tool was called TweetDeck.
TweetDeck and Hootsuite. There used to be like a whole cast of and then they bought TweetDeck, and so it was native to Twitter itself, right? They bought it, so they're like, well, this is a great platform. We'll buy into it.
Exactly, and then the Elon of it all happens, and TweetDeck became something completely impractical and unusable by me in the way that I was used to. So much so, Trent, that I was not able to post about tonight's show on the NetHeads on Air account because I tried to log in through my desktop because I used to have TweetDeck, all the accounts connected. I could do a post here, do a post there, do a post anywhere, okay? I could do it all.
EIO.
Fair enough. And then one day I couldn't anymore. I just couldn't. And so I literally got locked out of the NetHeads on Air account.
Oh, shit.
Just trying to go in because they said they see suspicious activity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, that, and it's so interesting because there's such a shift now too in user interface that everything is mobile first design. It used to be the exact opposite. I myself would so much rather operate anything with a desktop as opposed to the mitts. When the mitts are touching the mobile stuff, it doesn't work. But for everyone else, man,
Trent,
it's all designed for mobile interface and then ported for desktop if it's even given.
Trent, I'm not kidding here. I
Get
am
off
not
the lawn.
kidding at all. All right? You and I are a dying breed. The
I know.
desktop
I
people
know.
are a dying breed.
It's so weird to me because at work, like my colleague, he's of a generation above me, and he would much rather edit video on a laptop. And in my mind, I'm just thinking, are you insane? That makes zero sense. And then he's like, I'd do it on my phone if I could. I'm like, what?
Yeah, man. There are people that are. Think about this, okay? Look, I don't mean to name drop, Trent, but sometimes I do work for this guy named Kevin Smith, right?
Yeah, the old Kev.
And recently I had a trip down to Los Angeles, and in it we got into a really interesting conversation while I was scoping out the stuff for his new studio. Stick a pin on that. You're going to want to ask me about it later.
Okay.
And one of the things that just kind of amazed me was the fact, the realization, if you will, because I'm seeing it through the eyes of my 9-year-old, he's seeing it through his daughter.
Yeah.
The television itself, even in the consumption of product that is said it's meant for television, whether it was Apple television or Peacock or what have you.
Yeah, yeah.
There are generations that are attuned to just consuming that media on a tablet or a phone.
Yeah, yeah. Like why do we still, call them televisions if they're not like transmitting or receiving? They're monitors, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, except they always want to put smart functionality in. When we had to make that panicked TV purchase when the one died, and we went with the Sony one, I tried my hardest to not find a smart quote unquote TV.
Impossible.
No, it just doesn't exist. It wasn't available. But anyway.
But the kind of the cool side is it's all, for the most part, just modified Android that they all run.
Yeah, pretty much. That is very much true. I forgot where I was going with this. What was the rant that we started on? I got lost in the Twitter of it all.
Seeing it through his daughter's eyes, and you're seeing it through.
Well, yeah, just that they like when she uses the television, it's logged into a YouTube account and it's going through content that brings comfort. So it's just like we're a dying breed in regards to liking to do things from desktops.
I know,
and that was another thing that I've come to have learned. Because when things change, sometimes we don't want to go with the change. And like, I don't know if you know this, but like, I think the last 2 or 3 of Kevin's movies that he's edited have been on an old laptop running an old version of Avid because he knows the interface.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just able to work in it. And and I want to do everything on desktop, but even the guy who has that, when I talk about doing something, I'm like, well, if you do this on a laptop, and he's like, who really uses laptops anymore?
I know.
Bro,
I know.
He's a writer. Yeah. What the hell?
But I know. But for me, it's honestly, I think it's 3 things: processing power, my sweaty hands, and my thick fingers.
You know what? For me, it's doodads and extra widgets. Right? Like
True.
One of the this show is going to really, I wish there was an affiliate link because but like one of the best things, because when I do video editing, I mostly do it in Adobe Premiere, and I ended up picking up this USB interface like on one of those lightning deals, and it was called a tour box, and it just instantly let me have natural intuitive controls for zooming in on the timeline.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, and it's sweet, and it's got the knob for you can set it for your macros.
Exactly,
I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's got a roller too. It's got a roller wheel on it.
Yeah, it's got
dude,
all
it's
different
badass.
interfaces. So that way it's like you got a scroll wheel, a spin dial.
Huh?
You'd flip it out, you can make some pancakes. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Make sure to feed it, otherwise it'll start to wither, and then put it in the fridge overnight.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I just want to take a brief pause since I can't seem to follow a single thought tonight anyway. It's not very often I get to shout out to the chat and also make Patreon shout outs as well.
By all means, yeah.
But shout out to ZB, Michelle Kuzo, and Josh Mundal. All of them Patreon supporters of the NetHeads.
Michelle's birthday week. I want to say not yesterday, but the day before was her birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday to NetHeads patron Michelle Kuzo. Congratulations. My greatest gift I can give to you is not singing happy birthday. So there you go.
Yeah. I'm not a participator in that sense. Like you go into the, the TGI Fridays, or if that's a thing, I don't know. And they sing, I won't do it. I refuse to do it. It makes everyone uncomfortable.
I don't like it in the restaurant. I got to admit, I used to sometimes like asking for it because my wife hates it. But then I realized that's a really dumb move.
That's a dick move, buddy. That's a dick move.
There you go. That's what it is. It's an absolute dick move. And the beautiful thing is she listens. So Trent, she's going to, like, at some point, I'm going to get a message that says, I agree with Trent.
Yeah.
And I'll know exactly what it's about.
Yep. And that's all that needs to be said.
Definitely. Trent, some of the things we usually talk about in the very beginning usually seems to be gravitating towards the crap that I have 3D printed, right?
Ooh, print me harder, Kevin Spacey. What? I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea what recesses you pulled that from, but tuck it back, my friend. Tuck it back. Tuck that back.
I'll get the tuck tape. I'm sorry.
Appreciate it. Lately, I'm trying to tidy. I'm trying to pick things up. And when you pick things up around here, you discover things, right?
Yes.
And so I was going through like one of the junk drawers, and only in my house do you go through a junk drawer and pull out like an 8-inch tablet, right? I don't know how that happens. But it was an old 8. Yeah, it's a Fire. No.
Yeah.
A Fire HD 8 is what it was.
Yeah.
It was actually bought under the kids thing, and it was like Blair's first tablet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I found that thing, and I'm like, what could I do with this? And so I looked to the 3D printing world, because usually there's a lot of great answers there about what you could do. But I didn't really find anything. I was thinking like some kind of frame so it could be a wall thing that you could do stuff with if maybe you rooted it or something.
Yeah, or even just load a bunch of pictures on it and you've got like a digital frame, like, a photo frame thing.
Great idea. Yeah. But I wasn't coming up with anything good. And then the other thing that I was really frustrated with, which I may have even mentioned on the last show when I was talking about having to configure the Stream Deck controller in order to control the video, so you don't have to hear me click every goddamn time I'm going to make a choice around here.
Right.
I wanted something for that, because that particular frame, like, it has hinges so you could change the angle and everything, and what you wind up with is something, if you sneeze at it, it completely collapses flat.
Just falls over. Yep.
It passes out. It just like, oh no.
It's one of those goats. Their defense mechanism is to just pass out, just collapse.
That's what it does every time. So I got frustrated, and that actually led to an interesting combination of things. Because the first thing I did is I did find a better print to hold.
Oh yeah, the Stream Deck.
So it's something sturdy, just the right angle. It has empty space to tuck the cord in.
So natively, it just has like a kickstand essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It has a kickstand, and that's just not good for anybody. But then that led to something else, and I'm going to try this, but I'm fearful of the things that I could do when I do this. I ended up finding something else, because I mentioned that I've got a bigger Stream Deck that I use to like do the audio, because for some reason for a podcast, audio is
it's still important. Hey, it's real to me,
right? Even though it's like mostly video now.
I know.
You're showing crap to us on a podcast. But I did find an interesting combination that took that bigger Stream Deck and it let you mount it. Well, okay, it let you put it in a different frame. Phrasing. I'm trying to line these things up. That's the only part that doesn't work right. But then I was able to put the Fire HD8 into a frame right above it, and I put it in show mode, and it just keeps like showing me the news and everything else. And it's another,
that's cool.
It's another smart device you could talk to and have it start like, you know, doing things for you, like turning on and off the lights and that shit.
Having you buy things, or it overheard you talking about during you were talking to your friend about Twitter, and it's like, oh, well, here's some options, and now it's going to be put it in even deeper into the algorithms for your shopping life until you finally just buy into Dildonics fully.
Don't creep me out, because literally it was one of those things where one day I said something about a product to my wife.
Yeah.
And the next, and
you
no
make a joke
searches
or whatever.
No searches, and then one or both of us get it as an ad on something.
Yep.
Creepy as shit.
Yep.
But you know, we try and move on. So those were two cool things. One of them mounts that tablet right above the 20 key deck, which is actually good. It's nice to have information when interesting news from yesterday occurs. I get to see it.
Yeah.
in
or
the feed.
if you've got like a Discord or a chat function going on, that's an easy way to just glance down and see what's going on in there without having to, you know, sacrifice a full monitor or something for it.
Oh yeah, hey, yeah, good. Even though I've got two monitors I'm not even using right now, but still, yeah, a good point, Trent. A good point. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Or if you on the go, maybe, you know, it's an extra monitor. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, these great prints were done in relatively good time, but believe it or not, this is going to bleed into another immediate rant section. First, we went after Twitter.
Yeah.
And now I got to tell you that I'm probably never going to back anything on Kickstarter again. Okay?
Yep.
I've learned my lesson, and I'm never going to do it because
sing it, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I am so with you.
Good old Vector Robot, he was a pretty safe bet, okay? He was a pretty good bet when it came to a backing, and it's true. But that company that made it folded. I had two of the original Pebble, the first Pebble.
I remember that. You were a very early
the
adopter.
color one, and then they were coming out with another one that never happened. And now the latest one, unfortunately, falls into the world of 3D printing, because today, the company that is not Anker.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait, like the just tech like products, doodads, charging devices, whatever.
They had a division that came out with the Anker Make, which I had backed. And at the time, for a 3D printer that was going to be really fast, it was a really good price point. Okay? It was a good price point. And then for a very small amount more, you were able to add on something they were going to come out with at that time, was estimated within the year, which was going to be the V6 color engine. Okay? And it's exactly what it sounds like. Somehow they were going to achieve the ability to use up to 6 different filament types for your 3D print. So that way you could do multicolor printing, you know, a lot less finishing work, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have to, like, if you were piecing it together because of color, right? You wouldn't have to print one piece, swap it out, print the next piece, swap it out.
Now, at the time that they announced that, it sounded amazing. But in the meantime, there was another a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo, and that was for a company called Bambu Labs.
Okay.
And Bambu Labs was coming out with what they called the X1 Carbon. And they would also have an AMS system you could get for it. And that AMS system is for multiple filament things. Now, theirs was also a contained unit, so that way you could use other filament types that might be a little more toxic, where you need to keep the smells kind of trapped, if you will.
Oh, sure. Yeah, as that's melting, right? Whatever filament it is.
Now, mind you, when they came out with all of this, so the self-contained printer in a box, which literally most people have been able to just take out of the box and instantly start printing. So much so, their software and everything else, it was almost what was really something we could call that first step of true consumerism of 3D printing. Okay. So in other words, the learning curve is getting reduced. It's really low. So you could sit down and you could just start 3D printing. You don't have to learn all the crap that I've had to learn on my journey, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing is that thing was like 2 to 3 times the cost of what I was backing. So once again, it was boasting the same high speeds.
Sure.
But higher price point. So I felt, okay, I'll stick with the
Anchor. But
yeah,
like it's yeah. Continue. Sorry. Go on.
I'll stick with the Anchor. Now, the other reason why I was sticking with the Anchor is because in that AMS system I'm mentioning, one of the things that the process does is it creates what's called a purge tower. And I'm not sure of the nature of what it is. I don't know if it's like a block that is built so as it's transitioning to the new colors, it's like purging the mixed color bits. I don't know, because they also drop little bits of debris that it does for tiny little nozzle purges. So it produces a lot of waste, or at least a lot of what seems like a lot of waste when you're doing these prints. Whereas the V6 engine for the Anker make was claiming that they weren't going to have a purge tower at all. And we find out lately the reason why is because they were going to have 6 independent nozzles for every one of the colors that you're using in one print head.
So instead of like a V6, which is power, like if you were thinking like a car engine, right? It's all the pistons are working together to turn one crank that's then going into the drive shaft. This is like having just 6 engines.
Yeah, exactly.
all in
which
one
to
take.
me, I got to tell you, man, to me, right? That is what seems like a mechanical nightmare.
Oh my God, dude.
You know,
yeah.
because somehow it switches the head that it's using, but it just, I think it just disengages the others and start using that one. I don't know for certain. Okay. So let's not get me on the technical review here.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a lot of moving parts for feeding stuff through, which is the potential for failure. And I'll tell you, when it comes to print head issues, so far the Anker make is the one that has given me the most. So
really,
you tell me you're increasing the number, I start getting nervous more. Fast forward to today. And once again, the people at Bambu Lab have leapfrogged over into Anker Make's territory. I told you before, it was like a bed that raises and lowers. So instead of and the print head does all the moving. Right.
Yeah. So it's taking out one axis for the print head and doing this part from below.
Right. Whereas like the Anker Make, like I have, is what they would call a bed slinger, because the bed portion moves back and forth, and it's part of that coordinated effort with the print head moving around trying to make your random piece of crap or your Batman helmet, whatever it is.
Sure.
Well, a little while ago, Bambu Lab came out with an A1 Mini, and at the time then, they also came out with a low-cost multicolor management system that had 4 colors. 4 colors, right?
Okay, not 6, but 4 is good.
Yeah, I mean, 4 is decent. I would take 4 depending on the cost. Now you jump to today, and they have announced the A1, the Bambu Lab A1, which is a bed slinger. So it's just like the Anker Make. And you can add on that additional color engine to power things along, right? But here's the catch. The combo of that is now less than the backing cost of the Anker Make itself before the color engine.
Oh God.
Look, Anker Make was beating in concept, was beating Bambu Lab at the multicolor engine game. They were going to have more colors,
right,
on a very fast printer. Okay, they were going to have it, but they took so long to get this engineering nightmare solution they're deploying to work as promised. The market itself has leapt over them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And it sucks too, because especially for a company as big as Anker, right? For me, I have the same problem with Hasbro because they do what they call their Hasbro Labs, and it's just their self-run Kickstarter to develop toys. You're funding the development of the toys that then they can sell. Like, no, that's what that you're a business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not here to crowdsource a business. I'm here, like, I want to help fund my friends that are on Kickstarter, this, that, and the other. But like, I'm not your investor. I'm not a venture capitalist who's taking a risk on a product that you say you can deliver. I'm like Joe Schmo. like companies in crowdsourcing really bugs me. It bugs me a lot.
Look, I can understand the concept when it comes to the fact that you're like, we feel like we've got market interest here, but let's see what price point the market will tolerate. So in other words, because the Kickstarter model is always like the really, really early birds get the best deal.
Sure.
Then a larger portion of the potential audience can gain the next best price. And then like maybe one more of those tiers may happen.
Right.
So I can get it if they're both trying to find market tolerance and also gauge actual interest of going into it. Like, if we get X number, because really when you're a major company doing that, it's just a pre-ordering system that you're giving some of the proceeds to Kickstarter because I don't know why.
Unless when it does go to market, which I've seen happen before, the perks aren't even close to the discount that it's now selling for at retail.
Yeah, that sometimes happens too.
That's what kills me. Like, ugh.
Yeah, so...
But if it's of limited quality, you're assured that you got yours. So that's one thing, I guess. But if the market catches up to it, people see the interest. You're the one, like, you're being the company, the one that took the risk, and then everyone else is now piggybacking off of your, essentially like audience R&D, just seeing what the interest is, getting a pulse on everything. Then yeah, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. Not you, but the company.
Well, in this case, yeah, I don't.
So are these?
The whole thing is, I had backed a particular. I bet on a horse, but at the time, I got to say, in my defense, I had no idea whatsoever about Bambu Lab at all.
Right.
No clue. I had absolutely no idea. So I can't get mad that I wasn't in on it, other than, damn, how did I not hear about it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But still, once you've backed a certain horse, you always kind of like, come on, guys, you can do it. But
yeah, I know, and then it just takes because I back comic book stuff all the time, and I think the last one I backed was it's pretty rad. The collection of all of Mark Waid's Incorruptible, Indestructible, Irredeemable. But like it took like 2.5 years to get it printed and sent out to people. It's insane.
Never mind. There are a few other instances I could bring up, but I don't think they would be beneficial to me to do so.
Hey, we're not talking Patreon stuff here. It's fine.
Well, no, because no, Trent. So I was going into the shed to get out the holiday decorations, right?
Oh yeah. It's Christmas time in North Cali.
Yeah, it is. And so, as you know, I've done a lot of shifting and doing of things here in the office. It's been a project that's never been finalized. So, like I had a box of stuff that I took out to the shed as well to free up some space, try and get some. I created a Doom box, whatever. But to my horror, when I'm getting the Christmas decorations, I discover things and I realize, oh my gosh, all those promotional popcorn buckets that we gave out for Nagathon last year.
Yeah,
those might need to still go to the. So it's the gift that keeps on giving for a year. If they've been anticipating it.
Well, no, this is perfect because now they can get it. No, it's too late.
Now it'll be a bigger surprise.
Yeah, exactly. You never know.
It's a surprise now.
Yeah.
Look what showed up.
Yeah, I'll be damned.
And
that's always the best.
One of them is our Patreon supporter as well. So surprised he hasn't given me some what for.
But that isn't that the best though? Like when you ordered something and you totally forgot about it, and then it shows up, and you're like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly. What the hell is this? And then you're
you
like,
open it
oh
up.
my god.
Oh shit! I forgot. Yeah, that's fun.
That's what that is. Oh my god! Look at this. It's like when you find $20 in a jacket pocket when you put it on for the winter for the first time.
100%. That happened to me this fall.
You're just
Motorcycle.
like,
But it was headphones. It was earbuds.
you're just like, hey,
I was so stoked.
Stupid me just gave me a present.
Yeah. Good old stupid a year ago Trent. He's a moron.
No, but look at that. His dumbness is your gain.
And the whole summer that I didn't have those headphones and bought other ones. But
by the way, those of you that are watching one of the video feeds of the various places you can get it, you can also tell right now that Trent will be editing tonight because he is drinking coffee at 8:19 his time.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go to the grocery store. Then I'll do some editing. Yes, this is true.
It's okay, man. I completely understand. I'm drinking a Coke Zero right now for a little extra lift because we are in it, man. We are in the stuff right now.
The holiday stuffs?
It is Nutcracker weekend.
Oh
As you
shit,
know,
son. The no more rehearsals, my friend. This is a production.
Yeah, she's at the last rehearsal right now. That's why we got a hard out tonight. We got to leave at a certain time because got to go get the kid. But yeah, they're going through the like final dress rehearsal in the studio or in the theater before
theater itself. Yeah.
So we got one show tomorrow, 2 shows over the weekend. 4 shows over the weekend, 2 on each day. So it's a lot of back and forth and who's going here, where's going where. Today, for dropping off for the rehearsal, this is also when you know you've turned a certain age, Trent. We took advantage of dropping off our child and not having anywhere to immediately be to scope out the area to understand where the parking is and where other good stuff in the area is. So that way we're familiar. We're
gonna be in the area. We might as well stop by over on the corner where we like that we can get a nosh over there.
Oh my God, no, Trent, are you there? Because this place, it's in downtown Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, California.
Okay,
that's the city I essentially grew up in.
So, oh no shit!
And the movie theater is across from the infamous, if you will, New Mecca Cafe. Which is basically my way of saying that's the Mexican food I grew up on. So much so that I even told my wife when I was took my first bite of the Spanish rice. I'm just like, oh my God, this tastes like high school. This tastes like high school.
It's Mecca MECA.
I think it might be 2 C's to be honest. MECCA.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway. Okay. Yeah. But dude, that's one of the things we always talk about. Like if you had to lose a sense or whatever, it's like, oh, taste or smell. But those are the ones that are actually linked to our memories more so than anything else is smell and taste.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was, and the other thing too is that since I have was able to drive myself there and go there or get rides, because I went there a lot as a teen. And since then, they've taken over the entire building. They used to be, your typical cafe style space in a retail where it's a long rectangle, right? The kitchen's in the back, always hot, always loud, little uncomfortable, but the food, man.
The food, yeah. It's you got to go for the carnitas and the Spanish rice, like you said.
Well, so much so that when we went, they're like, you can have a booth or a table. Table is all the new stuff. Booth is the place I remember as the restaurant. So yeah, it was instant nostalgia. Cramming myself into the booth again, trying to figure out how I could have been skinny enough to sit sideways between the table and the booth. They must have shrunk them. They must have shrunk them.
Yeah. Well, they to put more booths in, more of the original booths in.
Exactly. You got to increase your sales per square foot. But that made me feel old because I was literally scoping out, okay, there's parking over here, there's parking over here. We should be covered. We should be good.
Yeah, we should be good. If this one fills up first, which it might, then we know where the backup is, and we can go directly there, depending on when we leave the house.
Exactly. See, it's like you're inside my head.
God, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel young though. I'll tell you that. It's not the kind of thing where it's like, I need. Look, let's make sure we set up some time so we can look around, know where things are.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, is that where the Mecca is? We could go to the Mecca.
Yep. Yeah. That's the rice I've been telling you about for how long? Now I get to show it to you.
Oh my god, dude! When I went into the bean dip, which is kind of that layered thing of cheese, a little bit of the enchilada sauce on top of the beans,
and just the refried beans, but not like you buy in the can. There's this like they're more viscous, right? Am I getting this right? I'm totally speculating on this, but in my mind, this is I can I'm salivating already.
Yeah, except right down in the core bottom. That's where that's the only part that's thick, and so you're always kind of digging up through that subcutaneous.
Yeah, you want to break that mantle down past the crust so you can get the good stuff.
Wow, we are going way detailed on food. But I will say that to kind of finalize my thoughts on it, like I knew, first of all, I was finishing that Spanish rice, but the minute I went into that bean dip, I was instantly at every year in my high school, they had kind of like a fundraising talent show thing. So, you could just come up with whatever your act or music or whatever skit or whatever it was going to be. And then you could be like, if were chosen, they would like build this variety show around all the students.
Yeah.
The minute I went into that bean dip, I was back there at all 4 nights that I had attended through the 4 years. It was I'm like it. I was waiting any minute now for the owner of the Mecca. I think his name was Bill Nunez. I was waiting for him to come out to make a long, uncomfortable speech and then make us sit through a long, uncomfortable song because the Mecca catered it every year. And that was the stipulation. And I thought, this is just him imposing on the school, right? Because it's a municipality kind of thing.
He wanted to perform.
My sister-in-law, when she got married, had it catered by the New Mecca Cafe, and I kid you not, just like green M&Ms, a jar of green M&Ms only, and a rider for a rock star. He got to make a speech and sing a song.
Gosh damn it! That is, hey, he likes to celebrate,
That, and he knows he's like, I got one place, I got power.
Yeah,
and I'm using it.
I'm gonna wield it over these people.
Hey, Trent, you blew my mind a few weeks ago when I was inquiring about possibly recording, and you're like, dude, I'm on my way to trivia right now because you still do host a trivia night at the Bee Grill?
The Beehive Grill.
Beehive Grill. See?
Yeah, Utah is the Beehive State. It's a symbol that the Mormons use, so that's why.
Well, then where is Black Bear Diner from?
I think it might have originated in Utah.
Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention, or I don't know if you follow my daughter on social media. You remember Emily.
Oh, yeah.
If you did and you caught like her Instagram stories, I would have laughed if you had caught it because for a brief moment she had a layover because she's going to her boyfriend's graduation, had a layover in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so she tagged the photo in the story, and I'm like, I could just imagine if Trent saw this, like, wait, no, that's the little girl when I went to Will's house is now this 20-year-old that's got a layover in Salt Lake. Anyway, when you were talking about trivia, you dropped a bombshell on me, and what was that?
Dude, so I tried to give incentives for players who may not have a robust team, right? Because some people come stacked, right? Especially in a college town. I want to say 5 of the regular teams are made up of professors, doctors of professing their knowledge.
They're learned men, Trent.
They are learned men, and so I have a per capita winning category. So if you got the most points per person on your team, then you get to choose a category for next week. The team that chose for that week in particular, their team name was a pack of feral corgis, and they wanted.
That was the team name?
The team name was a pack of feral corgis, and it's just 2 dudes. It's a dad and his son. I mean, like Yeah, he's like, so think like a 28-year-old and a 62-year-old, and they chose corgis as their category. And so I only thought it would, well, I mean, obviously I'm speaking to a corgi lover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love my pets. I don't love my
Sure.
pets.
No,
Just to be
yeah,
clear.
no, I get it. Yeah, who rescued who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking about it, not to bring the room down for a second.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it because unfortunately last year when we lost Winston, I really jumped in fast and hard into another corgi. And I didn't
What you
really
do though?
Huh?
It's what you do though.
Yeah, I was okay with it, especially
Yeah.
after you told me about the thing, and it's a way
Yep.
of tributing your
100%.
previous pet, and
Yep.
which made me feel a lot better. But I didn't even realize how much I had. I don't want to say grieved through the process until this Halloween, because it was the kickoff of a very bad time leading
Yeah.
into Winston going. But here I got Benjamin the whole time with me, barking maniac that he is.
And it's cool though, because I think anyway, when you've got another buddy there with you, it just makes grieving so much less lonely. You're still gonna grieve no matter what,
Yeah.
the loss of a family member.
Dude,
But having them to sit and love you just makes it a little bit easier.
I'm going to feel very bad saying this, but it's true. I was so affected by the loss of Winston. I was crying weeks and weeks after.
Yeah.
And I haven't even done that when my dad died, okay? But then again, that was a much more bigger thing and a different issue, because basically I was fine carrying on, and then just had an absolute collapse. But look, let's not talk about grieving, because now I said I didn't want to bring the show down, and that's all I'm doing. I'm a gigantic anchor, and I'm not talking about the guys that made my printer. Trent,
or hopefully
you have a quiz topic
Corgis.
of corgis.
Corgis.
Now, I will freely admit, I only have practical knowledge of corgis.
Sure,
So even if I score bad,
yeah,
I'm still a winner.
Well, and no one likes doing something they're not good at. So I also gear trivia to be a little bit easier in the beginning, and then progressively get a little bit harder. Everyone feels good that way. So
it's the Jeopardy approach.
Round 1, okay, corgis, multiple choice even. All right, which 2 breeds of corgis are there? Okay,
Pembroke Welsh Corgi and the Cardigan Corgi.
Yes. Yeah. Well done. Here's what you could have chose. I thought I was very creative with the so we have a Highland Corgi, a Dover Corgi, or an English Corgi and a Swansea Corgi, or a cute Corgi and a little shit Corgi. But you got it right. Was the Pembroke, which is what
both Winston and Benjamin are.
Yes, I have been. Yes, the Pembrokes tend to be, if I remember right, have a longer tail.
Actually, the Cardigans are the ones with tails. Pembroke.
Okay, yeah, I know it's one of
to crop, and
yeah.
I think the difference is they may have longer bodies.
Okay.
God, I hope it's not shorter legs, because well, because poor Benjamin. I've talked about this before, but the guy has everywhere that's fluffy on a regular corgi. Okay,
Yeah.
First of all, everywhere that's regular hair on a corgi, he's got long hair. Everywhere
Right.
that's fluffy on a corgi, he's got even longer hair.
And more hair.
So he's already not far off the ground, and he's walking, and his chest hair is just dragging.
Well, it's nice though, because then you don't ever have to worry. Well, I mean, the dust is still there; it's just getting moved around better.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we had hardwood floors, we would never need to
Yeah.
sweep. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. Anyway, what's the next question?
Okay, round two, multiple choice. As early as the 10th century, corgis were used in pastures, then considered common land, for what purpose? A, hunting, B, companionship, C, herding, D, being cute AF.
Okay, I'm going to go with C and D, because D is true no matter what. But the answer is actually C for herding, because I think you may. I hope I told you, Trent, that for Benjamin's birthday, it timed around the same time where a herding aptitude test was available for corgis.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And he scored the highest in the group in herding 3 sheeps.
That's awesome. Yeah, and sheep in particular is, if I remember correctly, is why they were bred so short, because they can nip at the heels of the sheep.
Yeah, they also do cows too. I don't get that.
I did not know that.
Tiny thing, but
Okay.
dumb animal, noisy little thing. I guess I get it.
According to legend, the markings on a corgi's coat suggest the faint outline of a saddle and harness used by what? Is it A, leprechauns, B, fairies,
It's B.
C, puka, or D, Fomorians?
It's still B.
Yeah, it's fairies. Yeah, it's
that
the fae.
that area that is on the back of their collar is because it's also usually the point where the blaze will attach. That is referred to as the fairy saddle.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
It really is. That's really what it's called.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Round 4, man. You are crushing it so far.
If as long as I give me all the time in the world.
God damn it. We already went over it. Typically, which has a longer tail, a Pembroke or a Welsh? Or excuse me, a Pembroke Welsh Corgi or a Cardigan Welsh Corgi?
It's the Cardigan.
Yep. Okay, you're 4 for 4. This is.
Dude, I would have. Actually, the interesting thing would have been like, I guess, kind of there was a. Well, that's not. You're doing more than it. Never mind. In trivia, you're doing more than one topic, but it would have been interesting. All you would have seen is me tie with the angry pack of cardigans, or going back and forth for trying to get the first answer in immediately.
Okay, now I do know for a fact that this one I'm going to read was a stumper. No one in the house got it. So of the 70 people playing, no one got it. Okay.
Okay, good. I'm gonna feel good. I don't get it either.
But if anyone could get it, we'll see. The popularity.
Will Wilkins gets it.
He gets it. Sorry. I love bad. Whatever.
The world would be a much worse place if we didn't have bad Borat impressions.
Bad Borat makes everything better. I don't care.
It really does.
The popularity of the corgi in the U.S., United States of America, can be traced to the airing of the Walt Disney telefilm. To what Walt Disney telefilm in 1963? Telefilm, made-for-TV movie, 1963. The popularity of corgis in the U.S. can be traced to the airing of what made-for-television Walt Disney film in 1963?
Yep. See, I have no idea. I don't know what recesses of hell you pulled this question out of, Trent. Although I would really love it. It's too late. It wouldn't be it, but I would love it if it would be for some reason like the computer that wore tennis shoes. But anyway.
the squatty PA or DA. No, it's called The Little Lost Dog.
Aww.
Yep, I will send you a picture of the thing. It's the cover. It looks so 1960s that yes. Yep.
I really would have thought that the popularity came from like Anglophiles that are big on the monarchy.
But
because Queen Elizabeth had them.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth, the Queen. Was it? No, it was Elizabeth. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. When did she? But she took over. When did her dad die?
It was a long time ago, Trent.
Yeah.
I know I watched. What's that thing on the Netflix? The Crown.
Crown. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I watched that, but
yeah.
I want to say it was like in the 30s. No.
No, because who was the king during the war? It was her dad.
Was he King Philip? No, that was Prince Philip.
Prince Philip.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Anglophiles, we are not here in the colonies, as they would say.
No, we can barely remember that which goes beyond the crown.
Correct.
If we're lucky. Which, by the way, though, is one of those things where, like, it's cold and rainy and you don't want to get off the couch. I guess it's a good thing to put on.
Yeah.
Because that's the conditions I remember watching it under.
Yeah.
Trent, there's one other thing I wanted to tell you about. Actually, you know what? We can take a question and we can answer it, because I remember on the NetHeads Discord, which you can get access to as one of our Patreon supporters, there was a very important question asked, Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Very important question, especially considering the time of year, because I do not yet have the Batman stocking hanging on my wall.
This is true.
I have not put up the holiday cheer.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not true, because the Pop Minis have been there all year. But, neither here nor there. The whole point is, the question was asked is, when is Nagathon going to happen? Those of you, if this is the first time you're hearing this, why? Second of all, there is a damn near annual tradition that has occurred.
I think it is annual. I don't think we've missed a year. Have we?
I don't know.
I don't think we have.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't think we have.
Well, in that case, I'm definitely going to have to go back and count them all and come up with a special naming, because we'll be celebrating it a week from tonight. Next Thursday, 7 p.m.
Yep.
We will carry on like we're not working the next day.
Yep.
We will.
I may not even have it next week. Work, that is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We
look into that.
Yeah. I guess you should check that. But yeah, so next, you haven't missed one since I started watching. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
next Thursday, definitely 7 p.m. Pacific time. We went early because I have a hard out in 11 minutes. And that is just to make sure there's a 10-minute buffer before we do have to leave. But it's not a buffer I can cut into, Trent. But there was one thing that I have been... Actually, there was one techie thing that I've put off now for a few episodes, because I kind of made the transition. A lot of people have, but a lot of people buy into convenience, right?
Sure.
And,
don't we all?
And recently, though, given the video editing and all the other stuff I ask of my computer to do, I weaned myself off of Google Chrome and I started using Firefox.
Okay, go on.
Because for those of you that don't know, Google Chrome is still a nasty-ass resource for, okay?
Yeah, yes, when it comes to like processing power and all the stuff that's going on in the background, even when it's not running.
Mm-hmm. It's a beast.
Yep.
And as of late, I had weaned myself off onto Firefox, which I have loved. But the one thing I will say is the convenience still wins, because every once in a while when I'm buying something or I'm doing something somewhere I need to get into, somehow my Google Chrome account is the only place I can get it done conveniently. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. I know exactly what you mean.
It's like, I don't want to get up and get my wallet and I got to order this thing. So
Yep.
if I go into Google Chrome, I know the Google
it's
Pay
saved
will
in
have
there.
it.
Yep. And honestly, their password management, Google's, is pretty good.
Yeah, man. It really is. And, when you log in, the way they make Gmail also your authenticator, so that way you can acknowledge you're in there. There are a lot of good things for all that integrated machine learning I'm sure they've got working on.
Oh, they're just ordering all the adult novelty toys with.
Dude, here's the thing. Off of my Twitter account, for gosh sakes, is what they're doing. They're seeing the ads and they're clicking the links now. But that's not important. I just want to say, though, that like every time convenience wins, because look, the only reason why I'm not using it isn't because bigger corporation able to analyze my data, is just because it's using too many resources on my machine, Trent.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, no, I get it. And it's crazy too, because like every time I see something that's using Chrome for something that's not web browsing, it blows my mind. At work, I use a thing called Kaltura. It's a company, Kaltura, and they have an fairly basic NLE editor, nonlinear editor for video, that's run inside of Chrome.
As an extension of...
Who knows? Dude, I'm not even kidding. The fact that like you're able to like trim video and adjust certain... I mean, it's basic, but like still, that's a ton of freaking work for a web browser.
That's the reason that, look, way back in the day, the whole reason why Internet Explorer was even created as a web browser was because Microsoft suddenly woke up and realized these guys over at, I think, Netscape at the time, they were going to be very easily very close to have something that could run all the functionality and convenience that most people would use with their Windows-based machine.
Yeah, everything that they, yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, and now when you add in the processing power of cloud resources,
yep.
Cloud computing, you can now have a very basic thing do very complex things because you kind of defer some of that power off of this.
In fact, that's how Kaltura does it, is that you have to wait until it's uploaded and then rendered on the server in Tel Aviv, and then you can edit it from the interface in the web browser.
That is still scary impressive. Anyway, so based on my experience, what web browser do you do? What's your strategy?
So I Chrome it because I'm rocking 128 gigs of RAM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like, you know how much RAM I got? Come at me, bro. Come on.
Yeah, and you want to measure RAM? I'll measure your RAM.
You think you're so good, huh? You browser with all your resources. Look what I got left over. I don't care what you got. I don't care what you need. I don't care. Hey, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, this thing's a practical thing. And it's the holiday season coming up. So
it's the holiday season.
You're really, again, got no affiliate link on this, but it's just something I did. Trent, for the longest time, I've wanted, you know what a Blackstone grill is?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, so it's a flat top,
yes,
like hibachi type grill surface.
Yes, okay? during a friend of mine got way into it during COVID.
Yeah, not surprised, man. Smash burgers for days, omelets, everything.
Pizzas.
Now, the thing is, I've always wanted one, right? But the problem is I've already got a gas grill. Okay?
Right.
So I already got that. And I think the Blackstone minimum entry for like a decent cooking surface is like $2.99. Okay?
Yes. Which will get you a good gas grill.
Yeah, great. Or, and I don't remember the name of the company. It's Steel Something USA. But you can look this up, or you can pick up a piece of steel, a seasoned piece of steel with some drain holes near the front and angled up around it. A flat top you put on your regular gas grill, and then you're able to do the exact same stuff.
Now,
for a little around $100, I turned my gas grill into a flat top.
Now, does it affect the distance from where the burner is to the top? Because I would assume that there is more distance in the gas grill, so you might be burning more gas than you would otherwise. But other than that, it would be the same idea, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And the other thing too is you got to be really careful about runoff, because your typical drip pan is not going to be probably getting the kind of volume you do, because any fat that's rendering off or any oil that's getting pushed off, and at the end of the cooking process, you literally pour water on it to get the food debris cooked up off the grill.
Yeah.
And then you scrape it, and then you got to but anyway, that's a lot of drainage that you're going to be creating that a gas grill is not really used to. But I'll tell you what, man, it has been amazing. Like I said, smash burgers, cooking a snap. I just made burgers last night. My other favorite thing, like I mentioned, is omelets. Like any breakfast foods,
dude. And like omelets are great because I feel like when it comes to like eggs or just most breakfast stuff, it's not filling enough, right? Unless you're doing like a skillet or blah blah blah. But like an omelet, I feel like I'm getting something, for breakfast food. I'm getting like a piece of something.
I don't, before this all came back for whatever reason, my regular morning meal started off with a mushroom and spinach omelet with some cheddar cheese on it.
Yeah, man.
And it's just the best, until the point where I realized I could be saving a lot of time if this was just a scramble,
Yeah. Yep.
But you bring the flat top into it. You got your mushrooms cooking over here. At the point where you're wilting the spinach on it, you're just dropping your eggs down.
Yep. Yeah. You're flipping. You're throwing it around. You're throwing a shrimp over your shoulder. The dog catches it in its mouth. Yeah. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, I don't go full hibachi, but The other day I was joking though while I was out there just kind of banging the
clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, but
you haven't gone full Benihana yet.
No, I have not. You never go full Benihana, Trent. Well, I think I just saw I think we just found the new show title.
Yeah.
You never go full Benihana.
No.
Well, with that, folks, like I said, heart out, gotta go. But thank you so much for dropping in, joining us, or checking this out after the fact. We greatly appreciate you. Remember, you can find out more about Trent. Basically, if you just look for a part of him, you'll find all the things that are a part of him. Guess that worked out in the long run. Of course, I'm that Will Wilkins on all socials. And again, next week from tonight, the official Nagathon, where Trent and I will talk about the gifts we wanted to get one another but didn't.
But
it'll be it'll be a shitty economy version of Nagathon.
And
brought to you by booze.
Here's the thing, Will, and this is what I've told everyone in my family this year, and I think this year it's going to happen. I want one thing for Christmas: the acknowledgement that we're not going to give each other gifts.
It's the greatest gift of all, Trent.
Right? Seriously, because in this way, I don't feel guilty about not getting you something. You don't have to feel obligated to get something because you're thinking, if we all agree that just you focus on your own family, your own immediate family, then it's like shopping local. You know, you're supporting those who support you.
Trent, there's only so many times I can get my friend Omaha Steaks, right? I mean, come on. Because nothing says I wanted to really get you something, but instead I'm feeding you Omaha Steaks.
Yeah, good old corn-fed beef right from Omaha.
So check that out next week. And Trent, you've got my buy-in. You've got my promise. No gift from me, no gift from you.
Done and done.
But you just said that's the gift you want, so I have given you a gift. And the whole thing is now invalidated. It's like all of Loki season 2 right there. Until next time, a week from tonight, my name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a Smodco Internet production. Sip. Only at smodcast.com. You know, the whole thing is, man, that I got it all reorganized. I got it all stacked up in just the way that I like it, and it all makes sense. But the thing I can't compensate for, Trent, is when I have to press 2 damn buttons with 2 different hands at the exact same time.
Story of my life.
I was going to say, I guess that says a lot about me in some ways, huh?
It might.
Yeah, I think we should just leave that one at the door. Oh, my goodness.